Griffin, so no substitutions there. And we're just going to get straight into the ban and pick for game number 2. And now I'll be surprised if we don't see either an Ornn first pick or an Ornn ban.
I would really like to see Afreeca pick up the Ornn because Sword, he really has been struggling, and also his set, I actually don't want to say negative. I don't want to be very negative here, but his set from solo queue.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
it doesn't feel like a Sword champion. It feels like if he's if he can't get on here, maybe we'll see him actually pick Sion.
He might pick Sion or Maokai or something of the sorts, because I don't think you want to try to fight fire with fire against Keen.
Nope. Well, Set is going to be banned.
Can actually ban Set. So if Afreeca open B1 Ornn, Griffin likely would respond R1, R2, 80 jungle, as Lucian actually will bite the dust, and I think that that's aimed more so at UCal.
Yeah, Afreeca just not wanting to have that one happen. I wonder whether that's based on something that Keen wants to be picking up here, as Elise is going to be the final ban. Insta-lock on the Rumble. Now, this is a multi-flex. I don't know whether we're going to have some sort of weird flex of Rumble into the support position, which I know Keen has been spamming. Not entirely sure about Jelly, but it has been in that Rumble center lane that you were talking about earlier, LS.
Yeah.
Backstage. Something that
Rumble
we could get excited
and
about.
Rumble Soraka.
Oh, that is repulsive.
Those are the lane matchups right now that Rumble support technically ends up going in. Griffin, they're going to pick up the Ornn now. Ornn is actually really weak to Soraka.
Oh no.
Because he tries to do the long-range engage, and then Soraka invalidates it, and then throughout the sustained fight, Soraka just laughs.
Well, Spirit's going to go back to an old favorite. Jarvan being looked at here, 7 seconds left on the clock. I wouldn't be surprised if a center was just locked in here from the Afreeca Freecs. They can flex it multiple different ways.
One time.
Oh, man.
Just get it? Because also, the Jarvan Cataclysm perfectly creates the circle for the silence.
Hey, true.
So they're just dead. They get Cataclysmed, they can't move, they can't flash out, and then the silence roots them in the event that you didn't have enough damage.
Yep.
And so it's a really, really beautiful combo.
Speaking of combos, that's what Afreeca are going to go with here. The Rumble not going to be towards the top side because that is most likely the cannon. Unless we're going to see some strange flexibility of the cannon.
And so it might indeed be Rumble support.
Yeah. Rumble is more popular in the mid lane, is something that Fly is, of course, playing. But it might be that we've got some shenanigans here on the side of Afreeca. Tarzan going to run back the Lee Sin, probably one of his worst Lee Sin performances that we've seen. Tarzan is generally very, very tight mechanically, and especially with his pathing and everything like that. So I want to see him have a better one. Yeah,
he definitely has been floundering a bit. It's sort of like seeing Thor in between Infinity Wars and Endgame.
Oh, you're talking about let himself go,
when he
Thor?
really let himself go.
Yeah.
It's like walking in on Donkey Kong in the jungle. He's starting to look a lot like Bowser for some reason.
Oh no, King K. Rool doing his King K. Rool impression. Like it.
No.
Trading some support bans here is Rakan taken away first, and then the Leona is going to land herself on the
have Sword on
The Ornn.
the Ornn, yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than put UCal on it. So Mordekaiser is really good. He also normally he comes in, he stifles enemy team compositions. That is what his purpose is whenever people tend to pick him. So in this particular instance, obviously if Kennen goes for a super hard engage or a teammate gets locked up by Jarvan or something, he can do a lot.
That was a really late swap. Accidentally
It might be the
swap with
graphics.
Tarzan. But it might actually be the graphics that are a little bit late. Hopefully that was done by the players before the 20-second mark. But like we were talking about, there is flexibility in the Ornn and the Mordekaiser. But now, Mord is being piloted by Sword, which might put a little bit of doubt into the minds of some of our more knowledgeable LCK fans out there, just based on Sword's playstyle.
Kennen, J4, Victor, Ashe, and Rumble. This is a wombo combo like no other. Merc Treads are going to be plentiful on the enemy team.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? It's not a traditional mage support, but I'll take it. I will.
Yeah.
I will take it. So
We're getting there. If this is like Trainer Wheels mage support,
I'm really
it's
excited
okay.
for the percentage of some pro support players that say, well, if you get hooked, you die, or some other nonsense gibberish like that. You know, I'm not standing for it as we're about to jump into the game.
Yeah, here we are, game 2 between Afreeca and Griffin. Afreeca now on our blue side, deciding to first pick this support Rumble that has been running around solo queue for a little while now. Quite interested to see what Jelly's going to be able to make of it. It was Spirit that was the support Rumble aficionado. So I guess theoretically there could have been some sort of player switch in mind.
It's interesting that they actually didn't put Sword on the Ornn, primarily because all that you have to do
is move into a different lane.
Yeah, to move into a different lane, and it would be completely fine. It's so interesting that they actually put UCal in here on mid. I believe that Ornn mid first debuted, actually, against a Victor.
Yeah, in Kesper Cup, and it was Fly that did it. I think Fly had the debut Ornn game. I don't know whether it was against Victor or not, but that was what happened.
Well, we'll see what's going to happen here. In terms of team compositions,
I actually really like Griffin's.
Yeah, Griffin, yet again, has insane amounts of scaling. When the Merc Treads start coming in, the magic resistances are going to really gut the Victor, the Kennen, and the Rumble once the game gets to that point. So we're looking at Merc Treads on Mordekaiser. We're looking at Abyssal Mask on Ornn. And then if Jarvan just goes pure tank, Ornn could actually skip going Sunfire if he wanted to, but this is very akin to game number 1. And Afreeca, though, they have a lot more options.
Fly chasing
Spirit.
after UCal here, level 1. Oh, nice knock-up avoidance there from UCal, but we'll still take a few autos there from Spirit.
Not the end of the world. Still pretty healthy.
Yeah, and holds onto his flash the entire time. Level 2 now gained.
And Victor with the Gathering Storm, so that's not
for a long game.
Yeah, that's not what I think of when I think of trying to win early.
Oh,
Biscuit delivery, magical boots, Ashe with the approach velocity, Rumble with the ultimate hunter. Really do like that.
I really like what Jelly's doing here, just spamming the harpoons at his opposition. Getting this wave into a position that they want. Oh, Viper in trouble. Is the volley even tagging him? You saw Iroh, formerly Cabby, of course, if you guys missed game 1. He has been on Griffin for quite some time in the trainee position, just sitting behind Lehens. This is a lot of control for Afreeca on the bottom side. Griffin just grinning and bearing it. Of course, Afelio is pretty terrible as far as level 1 is concerned, so you'd expect something like this to happen in the laning phase, but still. A good sign for Mystic, who's on his debut game here back in the LCK since, I think, what was it, 2014, when he was on Jin Air?
Yeah. Mountain Dragon, the first one of the game that'll be coming up.
They just can't move past the minions, even if Tarzan is here to gank. As, that was a really cute little resonating strike, but Spirit's still doing a hell of a lot of damage there.
It's always just really strange when there's mage supports in bot lane. The enemy tank supports just tend to not be able to play. Yeah. And when your argument surrounds, well, if they get hooked, they die. Yeah, well, What do you think mid laners do?
Well, Jelly doesn't look like he's too worried about it. He's just running
You
up.
just play around it. That's literally, that's not an argument. Of course, if they get hooked, they die. What?
Well, I'm a little bit surprised as to why not more of them have been picked, but I think a lot of people are. All right, we're going to have a look at Tarzan in his jungle. Oh. He's had some button issues as good old Tarzan today.
So, interestingly enough, one of the most common keys in the Korean alphabet is actually located on the D key, but Tarzan's on F. So I don't know, because that's the Leal, which is the R and L.
Yeah.
So it's not even like I could say that he's typing, because if you want to type ward, or you want to type something of that nature, you'd actually hit D first. So sometimes if you get to hit enter with the Korean alphabet enabled, and you try to type ward, or you try to ask something that's very common with that Korean character, it's located on the button D. And so I don't know, that's the only thing I can think about.
Well, it's perplexing. Tarzan certainly playing with jitters in game 1. It looks like they're continuing here in game number 2. Pretty unfortunate for such a storied jungler. 2019 and 2018 was certainly fantastic years for Tarzan, and this is only game 1 of the LCK. Obviously some jitters to get out before getting in. That's a flash play though. Instantly, the exhaust comes in. Mystic, level-headed, holds onto the flash for a long time. Hook goes wide as they're trying to take down Irove. They will be able to get it. Yukal gets down, hit 200 health. Onto Mystic, flash forward from Yukal. Slow from the volley though, and the Ornn can't catch up. He's waiting for the searing charge and will get it. The last auto attack does come in, and Viper, sub 100 health. The flash from Jelly is going to get the knock up. Yukal, a lot of health. It isn't going to continue under the turret because he knows the Harpoons can chase him down. And 1 for 1, though, pretty good for Afreeca.
1 for 1 is really good for Afreeca. Lee Sin having to take up, and you know, honestly, he's not that mad about it. No junglers are. Having to absorb some solo lane XP.
Oh, no.
Woe is me. Tarzan's thinking. You know that is the Dave Chappelle image? You got any more of those? Those lane minions?
Got any more of them lane minions, man?
That's exactly what he's thinking right now.
That was actually a conversation with OnFleek after our first series where he's like talking about the fact that his laners have been giving him some of that
jungle XP sticks, man. It really does. It doesn't go anywhere. So we take a look at this, and interestingly enough, the mage support did get hooked, and then they turned it around because of the insane amount of damage. So that was an interesting thing that just happened there. So,
and Jelly might have actually been able to kill Viper there if he had suicide.
If they wanted to trade flashes.
They wanted to not actually do that. Viper holds on to his flash in the end. So massive summoner spell advantage here for the bottom side of Griffin. Of course, only still holding on to 50% of them, whereas 100% missing on Afreeca's side. They will still have this lane composition, which has been working out so well. You can see Mystic a couple of waves ahead of what Viper's been able to do, and they've been relegated to stealing Tarzan's jungle, which must feel awful.
So, Sorkpen Boot's already completed for Rumble, which means he's dealing insane damage down here in bot lane now. Rumble has some of the highest base damages on any...
And Viper, like we talk about all the time, really low MR.
Yes, Viper on the Aphelios, really low magic resistance right now. So, the thing that I've been talking about since preseason changes is that all of the changes that occurred to the support items favor mages, because they get to their items a lot faster. They're free to build into Leandries, or they're free to build in to Oblivion Orb, and they come online. And the other thing about them is that, unlike the tank supports that you slap a stone plate on them and they're done, these champions keep getting more and more utility, more and more damage. They actually keep scaling.
Teleport coming in, Spirit's going to wait for Yukal to walk over to him, gets the knock-up, Gravity Field is there. Keen just presses the R button for fun, as now Mystic, he's going to get taken down, so a trade of 1 for 1 isn't too bad here for Griffin. Not sure what Mystic thought he was going to be able to do there, just wandering up the river, but does get caught out of position after Sword's teleport.
And the Ornn really far behind in the CS department. Obviously a byproduct of that was the teleport down in bottom, as well as the level 1 gank probably affected some of the follow-up waves. And the Mordekaiser also not doing so hot up there in the top lane. He's got that Vladimir build going on.
Yeah, doing his best Vladimir impression.
Yeah.
Likely to build that one into a Proto Belt and a Zonya's or a Nash's Tooth with the Fiendish Codex.
No, I actually really wonder... Well, I mean, we take a look at the replay here. So UCal gets knocked up, and then he gets locked up inside of the gravity field. Keen was coming in anyway off of the teleport.
Yeah.
It just doesn't really matter. Mystic did end up going down. Afreeca, they're going to get the Mountain Dragon, and that's actually bad news bears for Griffin. They have a lot of champions that would have liked the resistances, especially when you're facing an all-in comp. Even though Mountain Dragon's pretty pitiful early on, it's not when you have some tanks on the team.
Spirit's going to cancel his back. Irove gets there, clears out the vision that's in the vicinity. And Yukal going to watch this plate just go begging by the looks of things. Fly looking for a blue buff. He's going to wait for his J4 to come down and secure that one for him. Mystic's still ahead in the farm, but Viper, based on that one death that Mystic was subject of in the river, has been able to pull himself back. So nicely done here from Viper, and is now holding the wave in safety. It's interesting. It feels like support difference has been pretty in effect here between Afreeca and Griffin. Jelly showing some real prowess that he seems to have developed during the off-season. Well, not the player that I was expecting to talk about all that much on Afreeca's side, but very happy to.
Well, at this point, Viper just trying to coast in, but we have a gank up here in top lane.
Yep, Death Rum comes down. There's the Obliterate, going to land there onto Kane, as he does have the Maelstrom, and flashes immediately afterwards. Tarzan not going to be able to get any sort of kickback.
This is definitely not really a King of the Jungle mode, you know.
No, not really, as Tarzan is going to immediately demonstrate exactly your point.
Yeah. He, you know what? He almost looks impaled by the J4 flag.
Well, he was.
And you know,
he was. That's why he's in
I
the
just
death
thought of
chamber.
I just thought of a Victor skin. But I'm going to hold that thought to see if Sword dies. He does not. Imagine a Victor skin where the Chaos Storm just makes, like, rain.
Oh, that'd be cute.
That would be really cute, yeah. They need Pool Party Victor now.
Oh, yes.
That would be really cool.
And it's just a sprinkler system.
Yes! Or
the gravity field is a sprinkler on the ground.
My.
I mean, I know that Graves' smokescreen already is that, but we can just reuse that particle.
Yeah,
that's totally fine. I'm allowed with that.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
It's on theme, of course.
Yeah.
So we take a look at this. Kennen in the Death Realm. I would really like a pro view of that, just so we could see the beautiful artwork of the Death Realm.
Yeah, the
Lee
animation.
Sin trying to help Sword just shove in that wave, as Sword does want to get his recall off. Unfortunately, flashes, but the animation, he never could flash as he was impaled.
It was.
So.
Yeah. Flashes onto it so that the RP is better.
That is,
you know, you
that is
can
pretty
roleplay
impressive,
more effectively. Our immersion is intact at this moment in time.
Cloud Dragon coming up next. And that does mean that we will get a spicy soul. So maybe there's a chance for some rain showers here on Summoner's Rift.
Hey, like it.
If we get the ocean.
Certainly one that a Cannon and a Ashe would love during this game. Especially if Keeney's going to play more of that split-pushing style with his Hextech Gunblade that he's building up, then into AP, of course, but does have a lot of that ability to still control a wave with all of the lifesteal and spell vamp that you do get with that item. Much like in Game 1, Afreeca do control this mid-game, but it's not the same sort of lead that they were able to build for themselves in Game 1. It's also not the same sort of composition that they had. So not as imperative for them to get as far ahead.
Yes, it's not, because they have the Wombo combos, and it takes time for Griffin to get to the items that are going to start resisting it. So there's much more grace period granted to them before Griffin.
Oh, there's the Flash Cataclysm. Two people stuck in it. As Tarzan is going to safeguard his way out. Irove not going to be so lucky. That box is for his own funeral. And Afreeca, easy kill onto the support. Unable to get too much more, though.
Ends up passing away right there. As Mordekaiser actually finished the Proto Belt, which is really surprising. Proto Belt is sort of a decaying item in the sense that usually you get it when you're scaling or you're ahead, and obviously it has a lot of synergy on Mordekaiser, but
yeah, Leandri's Rylai's is just so good to get to as a duo.
And when you're losing anyway, there's no reason to pick an early game spike item like this rather than just go straight into your core components, maybe idolize even boots, itemize. Said let's try to do it.
할게 얘들아.
I'm gonna go guys.
나이스.
I said nice.
나도 플로공이고.
Please give me Rift Scuttle.
No, I think he said flash. He said push.
Oh, okay,
I think he said like I flash too. Is that what he said?
Maybe. They could have pressed tab to know that one.
Oh, me no flash, no wall. Okay.
Yeah. Well, if his team was watching, they would know that. They had to press tab. They'd know that as well. But good of Keen to make sure all of the information is available in audio. And if anyone's playing the podcast version of League of Legends, they're going to be absolutely fine.
Hog.
There we go. Yet another podcast plug to be thrown in. Being pretty shameless, but you know we're pretty excited about it.
I mean, they don't call me last sellout for nothing. You know, that's how it works around here.
Yeah. Large sellout.
Yeah. A lot of sellout.
Well, Afreeca going to get themselves their second Drake. They were pretty comfortably able to get to in the first game. That is not going to change here, as Viper with his Calibrum is helping him stay at range while he farms out this minion wave. He's going to be able to get the next one underneath the turret, as it looks like Irove just going to go back as he gets to the lane. And there is the Earth, Wind, and Fire in order. Thank you so much.
Well, it's only a 2,500 gold advantage right now for Afreeca. I would say the game is they're still ahead right now, mostly as a byproduct of how far behind the Lee Sin is in the game relative to where he would like to be compared to who the enemy team composition is, because Lee just doesn't really function. Who do you're never going to actually get an engage kick off. You can't kick Kennen in, can't kick J4 in, can't kick Rumble in. You probably can't reach Ashe. Probably can't reach Victor.
Yeah.
And even if you do, the rest of the teammates are just going to pull the trigger. So, Lee Sin is a non-factor at this point in time. Sunfire Cape going to be the next orange item to be completed, eventually turned into an ornament. But when the Infernal Dragon spawns, Afreeca should still be in the driver's seat. And then that's going to threaten an Infernal Soul, which is truly game-ending.
And that is exactly what they're staring down the barrel of. Ticking over towards 17 minutes. In my mind, it feels like Afreeca's composition is sort of that 20 to 30 minute mark comp that can get all of its first couple of core items together and then really wreak havoc on this Griffin squad in their wombo combo style. Of course, Griffin, once they get a few items under their belt, though, their composition is very sort of standard front to back. Late game scaling AD carry, late game scaling tank. Sword with his ability to put the jungler in the death realm during any sort of large objective fight.
Or Kennen, if Kennen tries to engage.
Yeah, that's true. The
he just says,
slicing
"You're coming
maelstrom
with me."
is more difficult to make work. QSSs will need to be picked up, and I imagine Spirit might even want to do so as well. He wants to get towards his Stoneplate second as he's going to tank Jarvan. As there is a hook, kickback lands. That's a nice engage that time from Tarzan. May not be over just yet, as the Ornhorn has been blown as well. They do nail it onto Fly, but Spirit knocks up Yukal, and he's trying to get the heck out of there. They still want to respect the button still remaining here on Afreeca's side. Chaos Storm still lingering as an option for Fly.
And the thing about this as well is looking for vision right there is definitely a bit greedy. It's 3 minutes until the Infernal would end up spawning. It's not necessary to fight over vision in that area this early on, and Jelly does end up dying for it, so little unfortunate there. Now you see he has the Fiendish Codex. I'm not sure what item he's going next. There's actually not a lot of magic resistance stacked up on the enemy team yet. Interestingly, Viper even went for the Berserker Greaves. Thresh, who was losing and constantly pushed under his turret, felt compelled by a Cosmic Force to get the mobility boots.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting, and that might mean, that might be why he took a little bit of a detour from this build. It looked like he was going Zhonya's and then was like, well, there's no MR, I may as well grab an Oblivion Orb.
Yeah, an Oblivion Orb, yeah.
I certainly wouldn't mind. He could also go towards a Rylai's just so that he's more reliably CCing his opponents.
Ooh, I see what you did there. Reliably.
Reliably, yeah.
Okay.
Because he does have the harpoon. You don't technically have to buy it as the Rumble. It just means that your Flame Spitter is going to be doing double Leandri's damage when he eventually completes it. And he will look for picking that one up. That's a knock up onto Yukal though, put into the gravity field. Oh, the equalizer lined up onto Irove in the backline while they're dealing with the Ornn. Really beautiful coordination there from Afreeca, and Fly is delivered a blue buff as well. That is called having your cake and eating it too, ladies and gentlemen.
And so that will extend the gold lead a little bit further. A minute also until this dragon is up. And so Thresh will not have his flash available, which means that with Afreeca having the low ground in the river...
Was that Shelly just going and doing nothing just there? What is that?
Leave her alone. Why are you picking on her?
Oh, it's just where she was placed, you know? A taxi driver dropped her off at the wrong location.
That is actually so sad. I'm thinking of someone dropping a dog off in the middle of nowhere. Thank you for doing that to me and all the viewers now, Atlas.
No, I didn't do that.
I won't
It was
forgive
you that thought about that and then told it to all the viewers. As now Yukal's going to start a team fight to try and distract us. Jelly flashes out of the way. No knockup's going to come in. Spirit's still looking for a potential battle here as Death's Grasp does pull him back. He's a very tanky boy.
Can't really find his way in. And
flanking Ashe.
This is definitely going to be... Whoa, Spirit's going a little too far in. They're looking for a good equalizer. They need to control the low ground here. This is not like Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. Normally you don't want to be controlling the low ground. I've seen that movie. Is the arrow's going to land? Another equalizer comes in. Irove. They don't even need to fully engage onto him. He's just dead from all of the inherent range damage from this Afreeca squad, and they continue moving forward as if nothing had happened. Now Infernal Drake is live. They'll be able to lock down Earth, Wind, and Fire and threaten that very, very dangerous Infernal Soul in 5 minutes' time. And there is nothing that Sword can do about it. Only refer to Sword because he's the one in the area.
That is threatening checkmate. Now is Afreeca 5 minutes until the inevitable fight.
싸봐도 돼 그냥. 봐봐 이거.
Let's look at this.
I like that already. Spirit was looking for the next kill, and Mystic just nailed the arrow.
Thresh no flash, Thresh no flash. No audio on this one. And Irove looking like Anakin.
Yeah.
Right at the very end there. Spoilers.
Sometimes you just have the better position. And, yeah. Afreeca just looking like a team full of Ewan McGregors right now.
Oh my god. Is that a Void Staff second? Fly is looking fly. I'll tell you that much.
He is often looking fly, just actually.
I am.
And now even in his item build.
Actually impressed. And also, is that a non-Oblivion orb?
Is that a haunting,
Is that a haunting?
Did they one-up even what we were talking about?
I think Afreeca has a math tutor or something. I don't know what's going on here, but, you know.
Yep, I think this is about the closest that LS has ever got to being excited about an entire team's item builds so far in my life. I'm very excited about this one as Keen thinking about a potential engage on the Viper, but he had a lantern to go towards.
I like it. I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, some good stuff. Some good stuff.
3.5 minutes until checkmate. So all that you have to do right now, if you're Afreeca,
gets turned on. Tarzan burning down, but there's Spirit to try and finish this one off. He does have his stopwatch. Irove going to be the sacrificial lamb as Moonlight's Vigil does come down. Mystic slowed and put in the Death Realm. Sword flashing on top of him. The fight continuing outside of it. Oh my god, the slicing Maelstrom, but it's a double kill for the Mord. He is taken down in the end, and now Keen, without an ultimate, has to fight off Viper and Yukal. I don't think they can do it. Viper is at full health and has a lot of damage.
So that was a very bloody team fight. It ended up actually going in favor of Afreeca, as bloody as it started.
Yeah, wasn't looking like it. And it looked like if Viper and Yukal were able to continue, it could have been more kills for the Aphelios, but unfortunately, they weren't able to stop the disengage.
Does Viper not know about the crit cloak change? I'm just gonna pause on that one for a second as the equalizer coming out. Garvin comes from behind with the Cataclysm. Irove trying to lock him up. Victor in the middle of an Ornn ultimate allows Tarzan to actually get back in there with some of the damage, but Fly lights him up with the Death Ray. Mordekaiser turns his attention to him, but not before the Chaos Storm meets the Slicing Maelstrom. And that is what we call the Twisting Nether. That's the Venn diagram right at the end.
Yep.
Sitting there looking pretty. So the first ornament does come in. It's the
Molten
Infinity Edge.
Yeah. Mystic does have QSS now, so that play is now impossible for Griffin to pull off. Mystic will always be able to stand at the back of his team and actually get that consistent damage off.
This Rumble is actually really strong, by the way. His base damage is at level 10.
As soon as Leandres comes in, yeah, you ain't going to be able to ignore this guy.
Yeah, he is about to complete Leandres, and that'll bring him to basically 1.5 core items, which realistically, it's putting him on par with Victor. When you think about how much damage this Rumble does in the champion.
Oh, arrow lands onto Viper. He has to cleanse instantly to get out of it, but it's still going to do enough damage and create enough space to lock down that outer turret. I have missed watching Mystic play Ashe, by the way. It just makes me happy all over.
What about when Mystic plays Ezreal and he uses Mystic shots?
It's not as fun because he is the Ashe guy.
Okay.
And we lost Prey, and so now we've got Mystic back. We had to bring Mystic back because Prey was our Ashe guy, and we needed another Ashe guy.
Anymore. I'm kidding.
Oh, thanks, man. It would have made our job really difficult.
Yeah.
You can start the cease talking after this match, and then we'll be fine. You got a couple of days off.
Luden's Echo was picked up by Victor. I just wanted to let you know that.
Oh, thanks,
and also, I still didn't get the answer from anyone on Twitter or Reddit that I don't know if Echo is actually just Luden.
Oh, yeah, we haven't actually got that one sorted out yet. I'm not going to give you much there because the whole conversation kind of breaks my brain. So
that's fine.
Not going to bite on that one. Jelly desperately wanting to go back, assuming he has that 950 gold to complete his Leandre's Torment.
They probably, in an ideal world, would actually want to wait for him to recall into it before taking this game-deciding fight.
Wow.
But Keen, yeah,
he took a gigantic amount of damage from one auto from the Calibrum.
He's healing up. He has that Gunblade.
Looks like Stormrazor wasn't nerfed enough, as Viper has just finished that one.
Mordekaiser actually looking for a flank. This could be very dangerous.
But he's going to have to use that ultimate onto Fly. Fly is his next target.
Oh, he is trapped in that fog of war right there. He can't go forward.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
He can't move anywhere.
Oh,
the Walks back. Does give away his position as
Yeah.
Tarzan, also taking a big chunk. The death rate, pretty aptly named right now from this 3-item Victor. Perfect Hex Core, Void Staff, and Luden's. You ain't escaping that damage no matter how much you build up the MR. Sword forced out of this area. This is Infernal Soul. Afreeca just need to get this to basically win the game. That's Viper. He's on the equalizer though. Yukal right in the front line taking all of the damage. Jelly has to flash to get out of the way, and now Viper can't get into the fight. The beautiful Ashe Arrow comes in as Spirit takes down Tarzan, but Sword is still alive. The flash hook lands onto Mystic. Can't quite get the QSS in time, and it is going to be Griffin that steal away the team fight.
Now, are they going to actually get the Infernal?
Mystic.
There's no Lee Sin.
Sorry, Spirit.
No. There's no Lee Sin.
Spirit, he has it. Oh my goodness, the double smites came in. Yukal was able to utilize that one. That was so close. And yet so far. So another 5 minutes until Afreeca have another chance, but Griffin showing signs of life here at this stage of the game.
The thing is that now the game, like game number 1, it starts tipping again. This was such a beautiful engage where they get Tarzan, finds his way onto Fly, which should never be able to happen.
Yeah.
Knocks him right into the... everything just lines up perfectly for them. Yukal, and again, just like kind of in game number 1, there's some disjointed team fighting going on. Now, Griffin may be fighting off a little bit more than they can chew. They are lined up for a pretty good equalizer.
And a slicing Maelstrom. The equalizer does come in.
Hello?
Keen has flash. He can flash whenever he wants. As the Rumble steals the ult, steals the Baron with an equalizer. That is ridiculous. Finally, Keen flashes in. The exhaust is there, but Griffin have well and truly botched this one. Good night, Yukal. He's going to have another extended look at it before he dies in the gravity field. And that was a very brief respite for a Griffin squad that then threw it away. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yep. Yes.
That equalizer just picked up the Baron.
See.
A tick of equalizer.
Yeah.
In an uncontested Baron pit.
I wish that he had Leandri's already, so I could falsely, well, not falsely maybe, but
Yeah,
you know,
you just bolster
yeah,
our love for Leandri's.
exactly.
Yeah. You are the Leandri's salesperson. You're not haunting guys.
I really am. Stocks have been up lately. I'll tell you that much. But we take a look at this, and honestly, I'm really surprised at how hesitant Afreeca was to go in.
Tarzan smited it to 3 health, and then Equalizer stole it.
That's really, really sad. Slicing Maelstrom goes in. Kennen does get exhausted. And with the Baron, I'm really trying to wrap my head around it.
Yep. Jelly, we're going to get
do the slow-
the
let's do the
Jelly
slow.
Pro view.
I got Baron. I ate Baron. They said, Jelly said, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do this, but then as soon as Keen goes in, he says, okay, let's go.
Yep. So is 3 HP Baron the new 2 HP Baron? Because that is basically the same situation that Score found himself in when there was one fateful cannon barrage.
There was almost, I believe this was in a coach stream. I hope my memory serves me right. Hold on, we got a very...
We've got a Death Realm here on to Fly. Does get himself the shield as Sword eventually takes that one down. The Ram comes in. Sword actually carrying this fight from the backline, but Mystic now able to take him down. Eventually falls in the hands of Yukao as Spirit's going to go down as well. Tarzan chasing after Jelly, and they should be able to secure this one as Keen says, nope, he's out of there. So that was a whole lot of Baron buffs that just got eradicated. So a bit of a gentleman's handshake to say, well, sorry about that, Baron.
Is really inting some of these really key moments.
Well, he better sell something and get a QSS. That's all I'm saying.
I think... Let's take a look at this. So he walks up for poke that serves no purpose at this point in time because their only objective is to stack both waves, then get the turret, gets locked up into the Death Realm, doesn't have a Zhonya's, doesn't have a QSS. Keen obviously can't do anything from this angle. And this is just like the Infernal Dragon, where Fly is just out of position relative to where he should be standing against this enemy team composition, ends up getting smacked for it yet again. And so, again,
impatient.
The state of the game is going to favor Griffin, but impressively enough, yet again, no ornaments on the side of they seem to be allergic to free gold.
And Sword's building a Randuin's now as well. So
QSS completed, though, for Victor.
Yeah, Victor's got the QSS. There's no Leandri's on Sword, so I'm not a big fan. But there is a redemption, so Irove can get his item ornamented. But you probably want it on your top laner as there it is, Call of the Forge God. Can he land it on the Mystic? The answer is no, as now Keen going to get exhausted and taken down. That is not the Keen play that we were expecting this game. Can Afreeca actually salvage this? It looks like a no as the double kill comes in for the Aphelios. The Chaos Storm doing so much work as Yukao trying to soak it as best he can, but the Death Ray doesn't get that work done. Mystic off to the side is untouched, trying to take down 5 members as Sword,
the kiting!
Can he actually do it here as Fly on his own gravity kill? The hook lands, but he has the QSS. Death Ray comes back. Double kill for the Victor. Oh, he kites it! Mystic secures the kill in the end. Now Viper's trying to be the god, but he's going to go down. Irove, the ace for Mystic. Welcome to the LCK. We're glad to have you here.
You know what? That just gave me vibes of the old days of Jin and Victor doing the 2v5s.
Oh, yeah.
When they were both super busted champions. That just gave me goosebumps back to that era. As we take a look at this, Mystic, he jukes the Ornn ultimate. This was a 5v4, by the way. Keen was not here. He got deleted at the very beginning. Viper misses the Aphelios ultimate. Yukao tries to run around for a while. Fly uses the QSS, gets hit by Tarzan, eventually in this narrow corridor. Sword going for the play that wasn't necessary. They could have backed off. They could have taken the Infernal Dragon. Mystic deciding that it was now or never to probably save this game. Keeps going forward. The healing, where's Morello when you need it?
Well, not on the Randuin's Mordekaiser, I tell you that much. Damn, that is why
용 가자.
you invite
Let's
this
go
guy to
Dragon,
your
let's
team.
go Dragon.
이거 바론 보자. 앞에 노플.
Let's look for Baron.
This is
That's-
Infernal Soul now, guys. That
Yeah.
was the game-winning play, and it was on the back of Mystic. Really stunning stuff. And yeah, that was a 2 versus 5. I don't know what you're talking about.
Do not screenshot this and tweet it at me with mage support in quotation marks, okay? I don't want to hear it. Okay, I don't want to. Oh no.
Yeah, what about best top laner in the world as well? The old 401 cannon dying in one exhaust rotation or something.
Yeah, that's a Keck W moment.
Yeah, that's a...
Any chures? Yeah.
There's plenty of truers in this chat, I tell you that much, my friend. As Keen's in the Death Realm now, Death's Grasp also going to work out, obliterates the cannon, but just looks like he doesn't have the damage, and that's because he hasn't built any damage. Out of the Death Realm now, as Keen, Slicing Maelstrom is going to be used, spots that Tarzan was coming in, and now has a minion wave to play around. His Hextech Gunblade is doing some work here as he gets kicked to safety. Oh, this is not Tarzan's day as he dodges the ram, dodges the hook. The Q is going to land, and Tarzan gets a little bit of respite towards the end there. But in the meantime, the Baron was taken by the Afreeca Freecs.
But this is, again, is another instance, and I really hope that's a Void Staff coming in for Keen, because he's really going to need it. There's so much magic resistance on the enemy team. And so it's really unfortunate. Now, Afreeca needs to be really careful here. They have the Infernal Soul. You don't need to rush things or anything. Just play it safe. Wait for Keen to get up. Wait for Void Staff to come in. Wait for Rabadon's Death Cap on fly, because he's been sitting on the QSS Needlessly Large Rod for about 6 minutes. So when you do the math, gold per minute tends to be around 400 usually. That's a very pretty Death Realm, by the way.
Yeah, I like this one. It's the Pentakill Death Realm.
Yeah.
Big fan.
이거 모델
Moves on over, I believe.
He said
yeah.
Mordekaiser no ult, or Mordekaiser. No ult, no ult.
And still has his flash.
I actually really like that. Some people might not have seen it, but as he was kicked, his eyes went to the minimap really quick. I think to try to evaluate what more might I need to do in coming moments, not just looking at his own screen. Keeping his mouse really close to the character. Really subtle things that even if you're watching Pro View, you might miss out on.
Yeah. Some very clean play there from Kane. And I like that we got a Pro View replay of a moment where a player died, because it was actually very impressive what he was able to do just there. As Sword going to get slowed here by Mystic. Mystic not going to push too far forward. He knows that he is how Afreeca is going to win these late game fights. He's a whole bunch of the utility, a whole bunch of the CC, and a whole bunch of the damage, as we saw demonstrated in that last fight. They are going to get towards this turret. The inhibitor's still alive in the mid lane. The Obliterate not enough to deal with those minions as they're Baroned up. Pretty immune to magic. As now Mystic up close and personal with the inhibitor, going to take the first one and should be able to take the second one as well.
This is one of the things I really love that Riot did coming into Season 10 is the souls. It adds the alternative checkmate to the game.
Well, Kane has been brought out of the fight. He's in the Death Realm, now has the Slicing Maelstrom as the Victor takes down Tarzan. Spirit dealing with more as we've got a triple kill already. Could this be the Penta for Fly? Stolen out of nowhere. His AoE damage just ridiculous as Yukal is going to be his next target. Oh no, Viper. Nothing he can do there as Jelly is going to pick up another one. A quadra kill for Fly to finish off the 2-0 for Afreeca Freecs. Griffin made them work pretty damn hard for it, but eventually they will be tying up top spot in the LCK with Sandbox.
Well, that was it was 2 games in a row that Griffin almost brought it back.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Their team composition came online, and that is another highlight of this series that I really love, because this is a really good example of how you can keep losing everything, keep falling behind, and then eventually, one error, the team comp will speak for itself. It'll bring you right back into the game. It lets you operate on less gold. But then again, a mechanical display of talent ended up turning the entire game back for Afreeca, this time on the back of Mystic, and Fly with the 2v5. That was the 2v8.
It was the 2v8.
Really,
it was beautiful. And this guy on your screen right here, Kane, not exactly giving us too much in game number 2 as far as his you know, top-tier caliber performance, but I actually love that it happened because it shows what Afreeca actually has this year.
Yeah.
They have Mystic, and they have Fly, who's actually in a whole bunch of form right now, not to mention us wanting to give Jelly the MVP for game number 1. This is an entire team that is doing a masterful job, and even Spirit, I mean, the unsung hero of this series thus far, his full tank Jarvan working out especially in the earlier game. But I'm just so happy Mystic's here, man. I am giddy. I am like, I've got those butterflies fluttering right now. I'm just so happy that Mystic's made his way back to Korea, spend time with his family, and spend some time just destroying people on Summoner's Rift as well.
So definitely a extremely clean performance on Ashe. Another non-traditional AD carry of recent times.
Yeah. It's certainly a comfort pick for Mystic.
Yeah.
He's been playing it for a really long time. That is sort of, he was the off-meta Ashe player of LPL while we had Prey over here in the LCK. Of course, they were playing at the same time, I believe, in 2014, but that's neither here nor there. And just congratulations for the Afreeca Freecs. Griffin, I do want to go back and talk about Griffin just for a little bit because we were pretty harsh on, you know, what Sword was going to be able to accomplish, especially on the Mordekaiser top side, and he was pretty good. Yeah,
in game number 2, which was actually really impressive. He was actually finding really good death realms. He did cost them though at the clutch moment, which was he went in, tried to get the death grip onto Mystic, but they could have just turned and gone to the Infernal, and that gave Mystic the opportunity, along with Fly, to do the 2v8 on Ashe and Victor.
That was largely, I'd probably give that to Mystic and Fly outplaying the situation rather than that being a huge mistake necessarily for Sword. So shout-outs to him. His Mordekaiser was actually pretty decent against what felt like a a tier 2 version of Keen's Cannon.
She got the quadra kill there, right?
That was a triple.
It wasn't the quadra?
Yeah, triple at that stage, and then Fly got the quadra towards
no ode
the
to
end.
Jhin.
Yeah, no ode to Jhin right
We can't
there.
do that.
Yeah.
But taking a look at the replays, this is where the game fell apart. And the problem is that Afreeca, they can't just immediately start the Dragon either. Because the team composition from Griffin is actually strong. And so all that Griffin has to do is keep dancing. Because they can function on less gold. This was also, I mean, if we were in a different region, that would probably win on the MVP vote. But what's going on right now is that was also really catastrophic. But it didn't ruin the game, because just a moment later, the QSS-less Victor walked into melee range against Sword.
Yeah, who was actually there and had the hindsight to say, like, look, we're going on this moment.
Well, this is it. And Keen, he can't slicing Maelstrom in. He knows that. And so it's a very awkward turn of events where the clock once again was reset. And it went back to being Griffin favored. And Griffin should have won the game from this point. They had it in their hands, but we're going to see the final team fight right here. Everyone again disjointed.
This is the moment.
And this was, again, Keen, removed from the fight right at the very beginning. Watch Mystic and Fly. The kiting that they end up dishing out. Now right here, Sword, just turn around, go to Infernal Dragon. He goes in, whiffs the death grip, gets locked up by the gravity field. Even though the hook landed, the QSS comes out. No Morellonomicon here.
Yeah, just kites it back. There was a control ward for both teams in that brush as well, so it wasn't like Mystic was capitalizing on better vision. Everyone had vision of that area. This was just mopping up after what was the game-winning team fight that you just witnessed. The hands of Fly and Mystic. Fly getting the quadra kill on the back of it, as Viper getting completely obliterated. Really happy to see the debut of the support Rumble as well from Jelly, showing that Afreeca certainly still have a whole lot of strings to their bow, and it's not necessarily just Fly and Spirit that pull out the crazy stuff. Jelly has some of their technologies that have worn off as well. And he did 14k damage, which ain't too bad at all. Out-damaging almost 4 members of Griffin's side. Sword just getting over the line there. and Viper feeling like he's a little bit of a one-man army, but that is how Viper's going to feel if Griffin keep drafting these style of low damage elsewhere, high amount of tankiness compositions, relying on him to get everything done. And honestly, he could in this game.
More mage supports.
Gonna need it.
Please.
Gonna need it. I want to see it. I want to see the Zyra come back, man. So anyone that can use a
they're all
Leandries
viable.
is great.
They're all viable.
Yeah.
And there it is. Player of the game. I mean, I would be really surprised if he didn't get the unanimous MVP.
Oh, you have to get it. This team
I
fight
wonder
was
if that
just
should
so
give
beautiful.
more points.
I beg your pardon?
A unanimous.
Oh, maybe.
That should give more
That
points.
could be pretty cool.
That would be really interesting.
Well, we should
If it gave
talk
like
to
50
KR
more,
production.
yeah,
after
that
this,
would actually be really cool. Because that would suggest it's better than an MVP performance, most likely.
Yeah.
But, again, his stutter stepping, this is like Marine from StarCraft, man.
Oh, yeah. This is like when Bjorn just broke Terran. This is exactly that moment where everyone realized that, wait, Bio's this good? I thought we're all supposed to be playing mech. Nope. If you're micro this good, you can kill anyone just with the first unit in the game. And that's exactly what Ashe is.
That
and
was
Mystic pilots her so damn well.
That was an Alpha Mystic performance right there.
That was probably one of my favorite metaphors as well for that particular moment. So thank you very much for being with me. For that one, Mystic, just great. I'm getting a little bit caught up with my words because I'm just so happy to see Mystic here and to see him performing that way. That play, absolutely stunning. And it means we're going to be able to have a chat to him as well when he gets up for his interview. I believe we've got Double S and Mystic standing on side, the 280 carries here for Afreeca, so let's throw it over to Jesus.
Thank you very much, guys, and let's hear from Double S and Mystic from Afreeca Freecs.
네, 승리의 열기가 아직 가시지 않은 것 같아요. 선수분들 그렇게
Congratulations on the win. Big smiles on the player's face. Mystic, how are you feeling right now? Right after the match ended. Did you have the feeling that I'm gonna be the POG? Well, Double S did a great job in game number 1, so I was feeling a lot of pressure. So I'm just being relieved that we got the win. So Double S, did you feel any pressure as a starting player? Not like that much. I felt like I was playing well, so I was kind of deserving the position as a starting player. Mystic, did you feel? Didn't you want to get the starting player position as well? As a pro player, yes, but Double S, he's a great player as well, so I was okay. So both of the AD carries picked up the POG today. Mystic, let's talk about game number 2. We have this awesome montage highlight here. The game and the fight is so close. Actually, game was cut out, but you guys managed to extend this 4v5 fight. Well, we were in a losing position, but Flight managed to survive long. So we were able to kind of take down the remaining players. Did you guys have any communications, or were you guys just focusing on doing damage? But I think we are mostly focusing on our performance on ourselves. I just don't remember. I think we said like, let's cheer up, fighting. And Double S, you did a great work in game number 1, so Afreeca Freecs was able to pick up 2-0 score. And you had a great synergy with Jelly. I think we did as good as we did in the scrims. Did you feel any extra pressure on stage? Not like nervous, but I was like nervous in a good status. I think Jelly might be a bit greedy about MVP because he was doing a great job as well. Well, I mean, he also did a great work, but a lot of works were done by AD Carry as well. So after the Elder, actually, normally game kind of ends up there, but this time game was so extended. We thought that we have a very good composition in late game as well, so we weren't really afraid or worried. Our comp and I'm not sure about the other players, but I didn't think that we were gonna win in any way. That's the mindset I have for the games. Double S, you changed your summoner's ID. There was no big reason, but I just wanna go back to the starting line and have a fresh start. And I think it's quite effective. And Mystic, you dyed your hair blue. Is that symbolizing the Afreeca Freecs logo?
일단 제가 뭐 아프리카나 막 그런 거 생각하고 한 것도 아니고.
Well, not really.
하려던 생각도 없었어요. 그냥
I wasn't really thinking of this hair color, but just my wife brought the hair dye and let's do this color this time. So I got this hair. So does your wife decide your hair color? Yeah, I think so. And any message for your son, 철수? This was your first match. So any message for your son? Please obey to our parents. We are having a hard time. So, any extra message?
네, 감사합니다.
Nope, thank you.
자, 이제 다음 경기 준비하셔야겠죠. WS 선수.
Double S.
또 선발을 노리고 계신가요?
Do you want another starting position?
미스틱 선수는
I always do.
아, 김소리도 워낙 잘해서.
I mean, Double S is so good. But Mystic is also good. Good players will be the starting player. I hope to see another double AD carry interview next time. And it's time to go back to home. Thank you for the interview. This will be the end of the interview with Double S and Mystic from Afreeca. Back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ji-sun, for the interview translation. I think that was the first time we've seen two people from the same role pick up an MVP back-to-back. Kind of cool. Generally, subs are happening when someone struggles, not when someone performs really well.
Yeah.
But, you know, these things have happened in the past. Marta getting an MVP and then getting subbed out was something that happened, I believe, last year. And, you know, continues to happen. Just give people more airtime. And I don't know whether Double S could have done what Mystic did on Ashe in that one turnaround team fight, so I'm glad that Mystic was in the end. And these are the standings as it stands after our first couple of days here at LCK Spring 2020. Afreeca and Sandbox, both with their 2-0s today, are going to be in first and second, with T1 and Gen G following very closely afterwards, only getting 1 point for it though with the 2-1 victory. Tomorrow, though, Hanwha Life are going to make their LCK debut for 2020, followed by Dragon X, who are doing the same against T1 and KT, respectively. T1 versus Hanwha Life is going to be a real tough one for Hanwha to battle through as their first, but DRX versus KT is mainly going to be about learning and what this DRX roster is actually going to provide for us, because there's still a lot that's up in the air with the rookies that are on this DRX squad. However, there's no one that's denying the excitement possible for a squad with this caliber of just raw mechanical talent. So guys, still so much more LCK to come for the coming week. Day 3 will be tomorrow. We'll see you then.